Watch the step-by-step video on how I made this background for my morning geckos, which I've been wanting to upgrade their enclosure for a long time. I think it's due that they get themselves into a 10-gallon. They deserve a little bit of freedom. Let's get right into it. So first off, you want to get that Pink Panther background foam. Get yourself a 10-gallon or whatever size enclosure that you're going to need. Make sure you do your measurements right, because I did not measure right the first time and I had to cut again. Luckily though, I had enough material, so all I had to do was remeasure and recut. Next up, I took the enclosure. I needed to test fit, so I cleaned it out, and I even found myself a cool little thing and a snacky snack. I noticed that the bottom was scraping a little bit too much, and I didn't want to damage it once I finally installed it, so I cut a little bit off the bottom, and it works out perfectly because of the substrate. Next off, I just started using my scrap pieces to tear off some ledges, and it's very simple. All you have to do is just break it off some corners that have flat edges. That way they can fit uniform on the background itself. I used a little bark hide to rough up some of the ledges. This way it looks a little bit more natural and not like foam. Next up, I started roughing up the actual background to make it look a little bit more natural. I honestly should have taken my time with this, but no matter, because the dry lock is going to cover it anyways. Also, don't use this glue. I ended up using it and it burned the foam, so use something else. I used a really generous layer of dry lock. This is something that you can find online or in stores, usually at Lowe's or Home Depot, but basically it dries really nice and rubbery. And then before it dried, I actually put substrate over the background. That way it can dry with the substrate on top. Here's the finished product. Now I know some of you might think that it's a heap of garbage, but I think it turned out pretty well. And just like this background over here, it's not going to be completely exposed. There's going to be plants and structures covering it as well. So I think it came out really nice. Good spots for the morning geckos to kind of just bask on. And I'm actually going to be making a video on that. There's a 10-gallon that I'm building just like this, but it's going to house my morning geckos. So if you want to see something like that really soon, go ahead and subscribe.